brighter than light. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean. He's labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike. He'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say. He'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
Good morning out there. Good afternoon also, depending upon where you are. I want to thank everyone again this week for joining BS with Todd. I hope everybody is as well as they can be. I know here in Carlsbad, California, what a beautiful day. I can't see it right now because I've got my light blocking curtains up, but beautiful day. So again, welcome to BS with Todd. And as I say every week, BS has a lot of different meanings. In fact, I pronounced the first meaning, we all know what it usually means. I think it was the second episode, so I'm not going to do that again. BS stands for Brother Solutions, but you know what? It also stands for barbecue season. And as you can tell, I've been partaking in the barbecue. You know what it also stands for? Barbecue sauce. All right. And so I make my own barbecue sauce. So this is Todd's BS. Maybe one of the things we do is I'll make a fresh batch this week, and maybe we give some of this out to some of the participants. It's also a natural diuretic, so it's really good for the diet if you're trying to go there. So again, BS has many meanings. This is going to be Brother Solutions. This week we're going to talk about our handheld printers. I can remember back in the day when I used to work for a living out in the field. Labeling was not my favorite. I'll be honest with you. I think that's why I'm very successful right now selling this stuff, because I know all the trials and tribulations of labeling, if you will. So what I'm going to do today is go through a brief rundown of our handheld labels or label printers. I'm missing one, which is our PTE 500, and there's a reason, but we'll go into that later. First and foremost, this is now, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, somewhere there. I've got a cable wrap and a cable flag that I put in some water 5 weeks ago. I've also got the same thing in our oil. I'll touch briefly a little bit on the tapes and the durability of the tapes as well, because that's very important as it relates to these printers. So first and foremost, or maybe second, fifth or sixth by now, I want to introduce my lovely assistant, Mr. Jamie Brookover. Jamie, would you turn on your camera for a brief second? Oh, no, you're not there, Jamie. There you are.
You said a brief second.
All right, I'm sorry. So, Mr. Jamie Brookover is in Virginia Beach. By the way, that Rogaine is working, dude. I got to tell you, like if you go and there are links to the past episodes, so go back and take a look at Jamie throughout the episodes, and I'm telling you that that $18 is well worth it. With that being said, Jamie is here to answer all of your questions, and I've only got a half an hour to go through all this. Jamie, stop doing that, will you? Anyway, Jamie's in the background. He's going to answer all your questions. So if you do have any questions, shoot them Jamie's way. If he is unable or unwilling to answer them, I get them later, and I'll be able to do that as well. So labeling as far as in the field, we've all used this machine right here. All right. I think this is the PTD 210. It's something that I actually picked up. Man, good God, 12, 13 years ago, I think it was. It's, you can buy them at the office big box stores. They're $39, and everyone out there who's been doing labeling has probably used one of these, or if you have some home applications. Really, that's all that this is good for, is home applications. All right, it prints on a tape that is non-laminated. It'll fade in the sun, it'll scratch, and not a lot of people know that. It's called our M tape that goes in here, and again, it's great for files and folders. But this is kind of where it all started. And I can remember vividly doing patch panels, A01, space, A02, space. You get down and you're looking at a faceplate and you're hand typing in the faceplate, and you can't do cable wraps for this or with this. Now on the fly, and if you have to label, it beats Sharpie, if you will, or it beats the little label books that are inside of our distribution partners' counters. So I'm going to talk about everything other than this. That's just a brief history of that one right there. I'm going to go down the line. This is the PTE 110 right here. The PTE 110 comes in a hard case kit. The best thing about the PTE 110 is that it's a tool bag printer, Johnny on the spot. If you need to do something, a onesie twosie here, maybe a quick patch panel there, a quick flag, a quick faceplate, that's what it's good for. So it's really for Mac work, move, add, change, if you will. It will take up to 12 millimeter tape. Now, 12 millimeter tape is essentially half an inch. And brother, there's the ums again. We should have a contest on how many times I say Anyway, the tape itself, this one only takes up to 12 millimeter, which is a half inch. Now that tape is still laminated, but you're limited to half an inch. So again, it's good for a patch panel, maybe a faceplate, maybe a quick ID on some passive or active electronics. It does come in a hard case kit. I don't know if you can see up in the well, to me, it's on the right-hand corner. The hard case kit, as you can see, it's sold through your distribution partners. I'll give you MSRP on this thing. MSRP is $59.99. And so for $59.99, what a great little handheld printer that is. And again, it's small enough to fit in your toolbox. It's great for onesie twosies. It's also limited as far as the functions that you can do on there. It does have serialization. We'll talk a little bit about serialization in a minute, but and it is battery operated too. And I'm not a big fan of just batteries. I'm a tightwad. And so to me, it's cash in the trash. You can buy an AC adapter for it, but you also have to buy your own rechargeable batteries for it. But again, a great little printer. It beats the hell out of this one right here because it is specific to our industry. All right. So again, that's the PTE 110. I'm going to move up now to the PTE 300. This comes in two variations. So we just came out with the PTE 300M. Traditionally, this is sold in a hard case kit. You can see up here. Here is the PTE 300 to the right of my BS with Todd sign. What you get inside the hard case kit is you get a lithium-ion battery. So now you're moving away from the cash and the trash batteries. However, it will take 6 AA. So it goes both ways in the fact that you can use the lithium-ion battery as well as 6 AAs. But what you get with this now is a much larger screen for us old blind guys, which is very important. By the way, all of what I'm going to show you, except for this little guy, are QWERTY keyboards. I still have competitors out there that are using ABC keyboards. And most of us remember using a flip phone and trying to text on a flip phone, and it's very time consuming and you make a lot of mistakes. So again, every printer except for this little guy right here I'm going to show you as far as our industrial printers have a QWERTY keyboard. We're all used to a QWERTY keyboard on our computer and on our smartphones. So it does make a difference when it comes to the labor out in the field. It goes quicker. The guys and gals in the field can type it up quicker if they need to, and there's less mistakes. So anyway, the PTE 300. Now we go up to 18 millimeter tape, or which is 3/4 inch tape, which is great for cable wraps. It's great for flagging. The other feature we have on this is now you can start using our heat shrink, and I know this is tough to see through this camera, and I tried to connect my phone, and nothing's really working right today, but the heat shrink itself prints off on a flat tube, and again, I know it's tough to see. The reason why this one won't do the heat shrink takes a lot of energy, a lot more heat to generate onto the actual heat shrink, and this just doesn't have it. It also takes a stronger motor, stronger engine, and the PTE 300 has that. So traditionally sold in a hard case kit, $179 is a retail, and we'll talk about pricing a little bit later on through our distribution partners, which you can't get a better deal. I'm just giving you MSRP. But inside the hard case kit, lithium-ion battery, AC adapter. So if you're working inside of a closet environment, plug it right in, bypasses everything. You can also use 6 AA's, and we talked about going both ways before. So let's say somebody forgets to charge it up. Run down by 6 AA's. You can utilize the 6 AA's inside the unit itself. We also add more features to it, things like barcoding. We talked a couple episodes about barcoding, a couple episodes ago about barcoding, and you have the ability to do barcoding. Now, you cannot do the entire range of barcoding on the machine, but from things like UPC to EAN to some of the other ones, it does a great job. And you manually input that, and it will transpose that into a barcode. The other way we sell this is as a standalone unit. There's a competitor of mine which shall go unnamed. They have a very popular printer that sells for $99.99. I can say that because everyone sells it for $99.99. Obviously, this guy was a little bit more than our competitor. So what we've done is we come up with the PTE 300M. The PTE 300M is kind of a stripped down version where you don't get the hard case kit, you don't get the lithium ion battery, you don't get the AC adapter. But what you get is that competitor I was talking about has an ABC keyboard, and what people don't realize, or if a company owner sends some of their techs in to buy a $99 printer, they don't realize that they're going to waste a lot of labor on that. Again, you're talking about most of these techs now are young guys, and they're using their phones and they're using their PCs and tablets, and all of a sudden the mind is geared towards a QWERTY keyboard, and you go from a QWERTY to an ABC. You're asking for a lot of mistakes. You're asking for fat fingers. It really isn't worth it at the end of the day. All I can tell you about the 300M is that it is priced competitively. You will get a larger screen than that competitors as well, and that does make a difference. There's another M. Anyway, it is competitive. You get the QWERTY keyboard, larger screen, more features. I can tell you that the operation of this, everything you do is right here, whether it be a patch panel, whether it be a faceplate, whether it be a panel schedule, whether it be a flag. It's all right here, nice and easy. You don't have to rifle through the menus. And again, when you're rifling through menus of our competitors, time is money. And if you select the wrong job on there, you begin typing, you print off the tape, you realize it was the wrong job. Again, it's cash in the trash. So two different variations on the PTE 300. The PTE 300 straight up comes with the hard case kit, lithium ion battery. Oh, you get a tape as well in there. The PTE 300M comes in a small form factor, eco-friendly box, and it is very competitive as well. Going up to the big boys, all right? How am I doing on time? Doing great on time. All right, this is fantastic. Going up to the big boys. So we got up to 12 millimeter, a half inch, up to 18 millimeter, a 3/4 inch. Now we're going to move up to an inch. When you get up to 24 millimeter or an inch, it's actually a 0.94. If you really want to get technical about it, what you get is a much bigger label, much more legible, if you will. I highly recommend using a 1-inch for a cable wrap. You can use any size you want for a flag, but I highly recommend using a 1-inch for a cable wrap. It's also easier to identify as far as your cable tray, any type of your supports, your racks, your cabinets. Again, it's much more legible, and you can get more information on the 1-inch. There's one in between here. And we have the full line catalog, by the way. It's available. Reach out to Jamie. We can send that to you via email. The PTE 500 is kind of a bare bones 24 millimeter 1-inch printer. You could still tether it to the PC. A couple episodes ago, I went through our P-Touch editor software where you can design your own labels and you can download those labels into the machine. It has that capability. It has a lithium-ion battery. That one goes both ways as well, where you can use the 6 AA's. It comes in a hard case kit, lithium-ion battery, AC adapter. You do get the patch panel ruler for port spacing on there. That particular unit right there is a great 24 millimeter, 1 inch, very inexpensive. Again, if you compare that, and I'm going to talk a lot about our competition because it comes down to dollars and cents. At the end of the day, if you or your company is spending money unwisely, that's probably not a good thing, specifically in these times. So you want the best bang for your buck. It looks exactly like this right here, all right? And there's two major differences. So the PTE 500, for all intents and purposes, you're looking at it right here. There's two major differences between the PTE 500 and now what I'm going to focus on is the PTE 550W. The PTE 550W was the first ever Wi-Fi enabled printer. Now, when I say Wi-Fi enabled, it's got nothing to do with the internet whatsoever. You don't need to be online. It is a direct connection between your smart device, either Android or iOS, and the machine. The beautiful thing about that is that if you have a tech that is more savvy, let's say on his phone, and it works faster on his phone, you can do essentially almost all the functions on your phone. Hit the print button on your phone or smart device, it's going to print to the machine. So the two talk to each other, and again, it's got nothing to do with the internet, but it also gives you the ability to download a database into the unit, whereas the PTE 500, you have to have it tethered to your PC and then dump that file into the PTE 500. Now, the PTE 500, if you're in, let's say, a DoD, a Department of Defense installation, or you're in a data center where they don't allow Wi-Fi devices, you're probably going to be stuck with a PTE 500. Still a very good unit, but if you can get away with the Wi-Fi, you're talking about a difference of maybe $50 between the two. So for the $50, the Wi-Fi alone, it's worth every penny. But it doesn't stop there. It has what's called a half-cut feature. These machines, if you haven't figured it out by now, I have no patience. I'm always running 100 miles an hour. I won't peel an orange. I know, I'm high maintenance. But the thing about our labels and our competitors' labels, is that you have to peel the labels. So when you're out in the field, whether it be the PTE 110, the PTE 300, the PTE 500, you have to peel the backs off the labels. And then what I used to do is stuff them in my pocket, but eventually these things fall on the floor. But what just happened? That's labor, all right? And time is money. So to me, the Wi-Fi is great. But to me, the best feature about the PTE 550 is what's called the half-cut feature. The half-cut feature, again, hard for you to see. I've got cable wraps on there already pre-printed, but I can print a strip, and I can print this 26.2 feet in length, all one strip. It's going to be tough to manage, but you can also select what you want to print, and I'm printing from the database. So I'm selecting what I want to print from the database that I've wirelessly downloaded into the PTE 550. What I'll do is on the back of the rack or the cabinet or the four-post or the server cabinet or wall mount is I'm going to tack this up. And based upon the settings that you put inside the machine, the best thing about this is I could peel this one off. I'm not waiting for the machine to print off the next one. I'm just going to take the next one off. I'm going to wrap that cable or wire or faceplate. Well, you can't wrap a faceplate, but you know what I mean. But the beautiful thing is I'm just blowing and going. I'm pulling these off and I'm wrapping those wires and cables. So the half-cut feature to me is well worth the additional $50 that you're going to pay for the PTE 550. We do not sell those, the PTE 500 or 550, in a stripped-down version. But again, well worth it. I could tell you this is you can buy this machine for under $300. You could buy the PTE 500 for under $250. I highly suggest that you check with your local brother manufacturer's rep, your local brother direct, or check with your distribution partner. The vast majority of the distribution partners out there carry Brother Industrial labeling, so check with them as far as pricing is concerned. A nice segue into next week, and I'm going to go back to the 550W, as we're going to talk about this a lot more in depth next week, but we do have a partnership with Fluke. And the best thing about Fluke is that you can utilize their Linkware Live. It's a free service. We have an app that goes up in a Linkware Live. I'm going to share something real quick here. Hopefully it's more seamless than it has been. All right. What you're looking at right here, and let me just minimize this to, I don't know, let's go 75%. But the beautiful thing about this is that if you're sitting at your PC, you're going to dump a database up on a Linkware Live, which is their free cloud service. You then utilize an app to go up in a Linkware Live to grab that database, and it's an Excel file. So you can do all of your cable labels or faceplates or patch panels on an Excel file, bring it into the app, connect the app to the PTE 550W, dump that database into the 550W, and they're the same IDs that you're going to be utilizing the DSX series or the Versiv series. Fluke does have an app where you can go up again into Linkware Live, and you can download that into the Versiv. So the old days that we used to do it is, we'd take our DSP or DTX, that goes back a couple of years, and we would have to manually do everything. And you hope that the guy on the other end is in the right port, and you're communicating via walkie-talkies. And oh yeah, that's how all this goes back. Oh hell, I go back to the mod taps. Remember those? Anyway, it's a lot easier now. And again, time is money, and this is just an extra feature that we have to make your life a lot easier. So we're going to talk about that more next week. Let me stop this. Tapes themselves. Again, we talked about the limitations up to a 1/2 inch on the PTE 110, up to 3/4 inch on the PTE 300, up to 24 millimeter, excuse me, pardon me, on the PTE 500 and the PTE 550W. All the tapes that we have are going to be laminated. That's the reason why I can do stuff like this. I talked to my brother yesterday. He is up in Cave Creek, Arizona. It turns out that it's 110 degrees up there. No, thank you. I'm glad to be here right now. I know not a lot of people can say that, but that's okay. All right. The best thing about this tape is that we can put this tape on any outdoor application in 110 degree heat, and it's not going to come off. Anything to do with water or condensation, chemicals, it's the same tape. It's just a different size cartridge. Every cartridge we have also has 26.2 feet of material on it, except for our heat shrink. The heat shrink has just shy of 5 feet. It only comes in one color. It's the beautiful thing about our regular continuous link tape is that we have a plethora of colors available. The tapes themselves, we do have a super narrow tape. It's 9/64, I believe. So it's 1/4 inch in size. It was made for compact disc splines, mod taps, compact disc, flip phones. Yeah, I'm just really showing my age, and I'm only 39 years old. That's how long I've been in this industry. So anyway, the tapes themselves are all going to be laminated except for the super narrow tape. Now, the super narrow tape primarily is going to be used for patch panels on the new high density patch panels. Otherwise, on the regular patch panels you have here, it's going to be a 3/8 inch tape. We touched about this before. I highly recommend to reach out to myself. At the end of this, we're going to show you contact information on the entire Brother team. So depending upon where you are, you can certainly reach out. I also have a gaggle of Brother manufacturer reps out in the field, or approach your distribution partner, and we're here to help you out. And that's the one good thing about Brother that really sets us apart versus our competition, is that what you will find is service before, during, and after the sale. So it's a value-add service. Reach out to us anytime. I keep saying this on every episode. If you need my help customizing labels, please let me know. We went into things last week about putting logos and QR codes, and if you want your own company logo on there, your customer's company logo, reach out. And these machines are capable of helping you. You can actually take these customized labels and you can load them into the PTE 500 and the PTE 550W. So if you do need our help, please reach out to us at any time. If you need literature, we have that available. If you need to find your local brother distributor, if you don't know where we sell this stuff, please reach out to us. We're here to help. Kelly, if you would, I'm going to start my closing right now. Next week, I talked about this earlier. Next week, we're going to do more of an in-depth on the partnership between us and Fluke. I'll go into the app itself. My screen sharing app that I have is not working well. I tried it ahead of time. I wanted to take my camera off my phone. I wanted to show you some of the hot keys or the application keys that we have. That's not working. So next week it'll be up and working, but we'll go more in depth on the partnership between Fluke and ourselves. Also down the road, look for more partnerships. I know not everybody out there uses Fluke, and that's the other thing too, is that even if you don't use the Versiv, if you're using somebody else's, you can still utilize this service. I'm going to try and have Mr. Mark Mullins or somebody on from Fluke next week, so that way we can go back and forth on actually how to do this from a real-time perspective. So anyway, there's our iLink and label up on the screen right now. Link, we're live. Right now we're scheduled through July 16th. You know, it all depends on what's going on outside of my garage. If we're able to travel again, if we're able to see customers, this so far has been extremely popular for us. We're doing quite well. I mean, the thousands and thousands of people that attended this so far, it's been absolutely fantastic. So I think we definitely are going to go beyond July 16th. I'll come up with some more topics. If you have some topics that you want to see, reach out to Jamie right now. We're going to be here for a couple more minutes. Jamie's standing by his phone right now. Call Jamie, email Jamie if you want to see any specifics as far as the topics coming up beyond July 16th. So anyway, next week is the Link, we're live. Next screen, if you will, Kelly, this is going to be our contact list. I am in Carlsbad, California. I'm an old fat beach bum. Jamie Brookover, he's just old and fat. He's out there in Virginia Beach. We got Mr. Dan Cobb. Dan primarily deals in our MRO accounts. Reach out to Dan with any questions. Mr. Bruce Page, one of the newest to the team. Welcome, Bruce. He is out on the East Coast. He won't tell me where he lives, but he's somewhere out on the East Coast. Mr. Rob Dawkins primarily deals with manufacturing, and our illustrious leader, Mr. Craig Robinson, resides in Florida. So with that being said, I think we're pretty darn close. We are, in fact. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. We do have a poll popping up on the screen. I always want to know how we're doing on these things or how we can make these things better, if you will. So please take a minute to answer the poll. Reach out to Jamie with any questions you have, or if you want to see any other topics, brother related, please keep it clean. It's amazing some of the questions we get, and I'll probably go live with those next week to answer some of these questions. There's some pretty interesting questions that I'll need to answer for you. With that being said, have a safe week. I hope to see everybody here next Thursday. I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. I don't know who's here from LinkedIn and who's here from all the different campaigns. We're looking into doing some more LinkedIn stuff, so stay tuned. I hope this has been extremely informative. Have a safe week. Thank you very much.